What do you want to talk about?
Wrestling! And here!
Wrestling?
Why?
It's wrestling.
It's wrestling.
Why?
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Why not? Why not?
It's fake.
Fake? What the hell are you talking about? Fake? It's not fake.
Fake.
Wrestling's not fake!
Okay, wrestling.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Ronald Ray here, your boy with a cornbread accent. Welcoming you to AEW Full Gear Recap. Yes, Full Gear 2025 is in the history books. And pretty impressive pay-per-view. Good matches. Couple little gripes here and there, but if you want to see what I mean by mess, but it was a mess, but not in the this pay-per-view was just a mess all around, bad matches, botches. No, it's not that. It was just a little messy. I'm pretty sure they had to go through a few canvases, but I'll get to that later. This year's Full Gear, I think this was the second year in a row. I think that's what they said, that the pay-per-view took place at the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. And like I said, pretty good pay-per-view. Now I did not watch what do they call it, the Saturday night. Oh, excuse me, AEW Tailgate Brawl. I did not catch any of that. Well, except for the last one. I did put the pre-show on. I thought it was going to show everything, kind of like they usually do, but didn't happen that way. So we just sat there and watched Jeff Jarrett, Renee Paquette, AJ City, and guest talkers, for an hour, then the pay-per-view. But um, the results are as follows. The Bang Bang Gang, Juice Robinson, and Austin Gunn defeated Anthony Bowens, Max Caster, the Outrunners, Turbo Floyd, and Truth Magnum, and Big Bill and Brian Keith to win $200,000. We had the Boom and Doom, Big Boom AJ, QT Marshall, all but one I can probably tolerate. Well, one had the annoying kid, so I don't think I really missed much on this one. But they went on to defeat RPG, Rocky Romero, and Trent Beretta. Eddie Kingston and Hook defeated the Workhorsemen. Like I said, seeing this was a short match, I probably would have kind of got a little upset. I wish they'd let the Workhorsemen, have a little more time to get a little shine, get a little heat, show how good they are. But no, I guess those in charge decided to just make this short and sweet and get on with it. But could be just a time thing, because the last AEW Tailgate Brawl match was the CMLL Trios Tag Team title match with Atlas Sky Team facing the Don Callis family. Did get to see that match join in progress when the main show started. Okada arrived late. Mystico was injured, so but he wound up showing up back at the match later on in the match. A little more distinction between Takeshita and Okada, and more of that during a backstage interview when they was talking about the Continental Classic. Yes, Okada's going to be defending his Continental Championship at the Continental Classic. That's going to have Takeshita in it, as well as one more competitor. I'll mention that later on as well. But Mystico got the tap out win with the head scissors Fujinami bar combination, or the flying head scissors takedown into the Fujinami arm bar, getting a tap out win. Now we get to the main show. First match officially on the main show was Pac going against Darby Allin. 101 standard match here. No gimmicks. Darby Allin came in with a tape around his waist, selling his injuries. Uh, but this match does not disappoint. When I did the prediction show on Spot Show, I said this match I was really looking forward to. This probably be the show stealer. I would probably rank this probably at least probably one of the best matches of the night. But some people will not. But there's probably a difference. There's something that other matches had that this one didn't. So, uh, but anyway, like I said, good match. Darby kept it basic. Good exchange to begin things with. Darby got the better of that. Had the advantage till Pac, did a military press, slammed Darby on the apron from the to the floor. Darby came back after trapping Pac against the apron. Pac regrouped. Pac missed a Black Arrow. Darby locked in a Scorpion. Wheeler Yuta came in and was waved in by Pac and distracted Darby Allin. Darby Allin released the Scorpion Deathlock. This distracted the referee as well. Pac was able to get the bat as Darby Allin turned around. Pac nailed him with the bat as the referee was still uh, getting distracted by Wheeler Yuta. 1, 2, 3. Pac wins this one. Like I said, a very good match. Thought that was going to give it to Darby Allin, but they didn't. But yeah, Darby did a pretty good job of this wrestling. Like I said, a wrestling basic match, no gimmick matches. He did he did do some hella bumps in this one, and also did a drop kick from the top rope to the floor as Pac was sitting on a chair. Looked pretty nasty. Looked like Darby got the worst end of that one, the way he landed. But I probably would have said, kind of keep away from that too. But uh, I'm pretty sure I'm taking an educated guess that there's somebody that said, "Hey, Darby, don't do this," but he's going to kind of do that anyway. Kind of like the Jeff Hardy type deal. He'll do some back when he was younger, definitely did some high risk maneuvers, and I think he was a little encouraged to do it as well. All right, then we have four-way women's tag team match. This is the semifinal, the final four, if you will, of the teams going into the AEW Women's Tag Team Championship Tournament. It is Sister of Sin, Mega Bane, Marina Shravov, Shavir versus Willow Nightingale, Holly Cameron versus Tony Storm and Mina Sarakawa. Timeless Love Bomb, I believe they call themselves. Uh, Along with Shavir and Bane, they went at first. The Sisters of Sin, after that, had an exchange with Cameron and Willow. They wound up, everybody kind of worked over Holly Cameron. She got to receive the heat for most of the match. Then everybody kind of got their stuff in there. You know how these four-way things, they kind of do get formulaic. But and this one did the same. Everybody got their stuff in, and it was actually a wrestling move. Tony Storm pins Cameron with a small package, so therefore the Timeless Love Bombs will pick their opponents for their semifinal match. And I think they already picked them. It's going to be Mega Bane and Marina Shavir taking on the Timeless Love Bomb in their quarter or semifinals match. After that, we had a World Tag Team Title match. A very good match. I thought this was a good one. It was Brodito versus FTR. Brodito, of course, Brody Lee and Bandito. They are the champions coming in. They got the early advantage in this match until FTR countered a Bandito dive, sending him face first into the commentator's table. FTR, one thing kind of impressed me. I wish they did it a couple more times to build up for a hot tag, but Guess there was no time for it, but they did the old school, the distractor rep, and what that way he didn't see Bandito tag Brody, the Brody King, but he did. Bandito finally did get that hot tag in. Cleans house. All four men went at it. Lots of false finishes with Bandito. Uh, Brody Lee wound up going for that crossbody block as Cash was on the chair. Cash moved out of the way. Bandito did a good job kind of fighting both of FTR, but like I said, a lot of false finishes, a lot of near falls, but it wound up being FTR nailing the Smash Machine on Bandito to win their third AEW Tag Team Championship, and I think this makes it them 11 times Tag Team Champions, spanning from NXT, WWE, and all the Ring of Honor, um, I guess CML as well, or AAA, all the tag team belts they had at one time. So yes, top guys, 11 times Tag Team Champions. All right, next up we have the Casino Gauntlet match. Of course, the Casino Gauntlet match. This was to determine the first ever AEW National Champion. And like I said, I told people if it was one of those old school Reggie Parks design belts, I was going to pop. Guess they must have heard me. Only kidding. But when they presented it, that's what it was. One of the old school, or at least the design, the old Reggie Parks design championships they had uh, going around the 80s. I think every territory had that kind of design on them. Looked pretty cool. But that's the way they designed their national championship. I think the last NWA national championship, the real one, not the one Billy Corgan owns and everything else. But the last one was, like the gold and the light tan, I guess, sand dune type tan lettering or design, where the red is and everything, then gold or where else. Looked pretty cool. This one's not too bad. Like I said, I did pop because of the design, but my opinion is the same. They didn't need another championship. But anyway, Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin, due to their matches on Dynamite, drew 1 and 2. They didn't really do much to each other. Had a quick countdown. Here comes Ricochet. He's like, "Look, nobody is paying to see y'all doing kind of wrestling. Y'all need to be throwing hands and stuff like that." As he was talking, here comes the Gates of Agony, temporarily taking out the Hurt Syndicate. Uh, so it left Ricochet lone man in the ring. Not sure why he was trying to pin either Shelton or Lashley, but they would have waited for Claudio to come out, and he came in just uppercutting and throwing Ricochet around. After that, whoops, it was his Death Riders tag team partner Daniel Garcia. Orange Cassidy kind of came out, got his spots in. Wheeler Yuta next was Kevin Knight. He got their spots in. Uh, Again, Roger Strong was the next one. He got his stuff in. Mark Davis. Mark Davis was impressive. Kind of hit like different versions of the pile driver. Uh, and I was like, man, that shit ended right there. Especially the one pile driver where he kind of almost like a T-bone and flipped him over and pile drop his opponent that way. Looked pretty cool. I was like, that's a finisher. But of course, that wasn't the finish of the match. Speedball Bailey came out. Actually, Bailey and Knight went out for just a brief minute. Daddy Magic comes out, but he can't. He only had one reason to come out, and that was a face off against Garcia. He chases him out of the arena. Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin get back in it, start throwing everybody around, and they finally get their hands on Ricochet. Then, of course, towards the end of the match, everyone gets theirs in. Ricochet hits the spirit gun all night, goes for the cover. 1, 2, 3. Ricochet is your first ever AEW National Championship. So I guess they have a championship just for Ricochet, promised him one, and it's like, okay, we'll just make one for you. I'm only kidding. I still have no idea why they want to do this. I've heard other podcasters say this might be just kind of sticking it to the NWA. I guess there was a little bit of beef with Corgan and Tony Khan. Maybe I don't know. I don't keep up with too much of that stuff. Um, it was probably a little more under the radar than most things. All right, now things start to get messy here. Next up, we got John Moxley going up against Kyle O'Reilly. This was a no holds barred match. Um, First started to do some technical wrestling, then Moxley, I guess, had enough of that. Uh, Broke out the fork, started busting Kyle O'Reilly up with that. O'Reilly would get some revenge later on in the match. Uh, Started stabbing John in the head. Actually had John Moxley in the head scissors stabbing him with a fork, and you kind of seen uh, the color oozing out of his head. Uh, Chain was brought in by Kyle O'Reilly. They used it against each other, and like their other matches, they did a great job of transitioning holds and stuff like that. Real smooth transitions, um, and it wasn't like in real speed. It wasn't like hesitant or anything like that. It's almost like I guess you can call it over choreographed, but um, really had those smooth transitions. Then kind of you can time with time the transitions on some people with a hourglass. But Moxley stomped a chair on Cal's arm. Appears it appears that it's injured. John uh, put in the hammerlock. Cal transitioned that into a ankle lock. Modified it by tying a chain around Moxley's ankle and gets the tap out win. Yes, Kyle O'Reilly makes John Moxley tap out again. Of course, that was 2 weeks ago when they had a blood and guts match. Uh, Moxley wound up tapping out to Kyle O'Reilly then. Uh, and of course, here's the pay per view. Makes him tap out again. Like I said, they were both a lot of color. Uh, can I say bloody mess? Yes. Um, yes, this was a bloody, bloody mess. So I guess this is one where they had to change to the canvas for the first time because, like I said, it was a mess. Good match though. Like I said, I love the transitions and stuff like that. When they doing these transitions of holds, makes it look a little better. Uh, like seeing people kind of incorporate that a little bit more lately. Not saying everybody should do it. If it fits your style, fits your gimmick and everything, or fits your character, yes, do it. But that doesn't mean everybody's got to do it. But in this occasion, it looked pretty good. All right. Next up for the TNT Championship, it is Mark Briscoe going against the champion, Kyle Fletcher. Again, this was no DQ, but man, another bloody mess here. A lot of back and forth. Uh, all the furniture got used on this one. In the end, it was Mark Briscoe doing a like a super razor's edge on Kyle Fletcher on a barbed wire full of, or yeah, a table full of barbed wire. Then hit the J driver for the win. So yeah, your winner and new TNT champion is Mark Briscoe. Of course, the stipulation in this match was if Briscoe lose, he's got to join the family. Uh, it was a no DQ match. So yeah, so you had all kinds of weapons. You had they even brought the thumbtacks out, and I'm like, no, 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 that's not for me. Um, but like I said, pretty good match. And after this, a little while later, that had a little backstage segment um, with Okada and Takeshita, Don Callis. talking about, now Takeshita is going to be in that Continental Classic. Uh, Kyle Fletcher came out and said, "Hey guys, you're supposed to be my best friends and stuff. How come y'all didn't help me out there? It was a no DQ match. Y'all could have helped me. Uh, Screw it. I'm going to enter the Continental Classic as well." But yeah, it probably would. Like I said, I always give AEW credit for having good matches. Not so great storylines. Uh, but so I think you could have had, if you had a little bit more better storytelling, you probably could have had Mark Briscoe lose and have to join the family, and made the angle somewhat entertaining. Then eventually, yes, Mark Briscoe would have got another match and uh, probably won that one and got himself out of the family. All right, so they changed the canvas again, and here comes the $1 million trios match. It is Bucks teaming up with Josh Alexander, going against the Jurassic Express with Kenny Omega. Perry and Jackson start this match out with her, kind of just a flip exchange. Um, all six of them go out, do the dives and the flips and stuff like that. I did notice crowd start being. I mean, they were. I want to say they were boisterous during this whole pay per view, but it seems like with you got Kenny Omega, you got the Bucks in there. You figured the crowd would be a little more um, alive, but they were quite, you know, quite about in this match. Anyway, rinse, repeat. Everybody getting their stuff in. BTE trigger on Jack Perry wins this match. Um, After the match, uh, Alexander and the family attack Kenny Omega some more, start working on that leg. Um, After a little bit of hesitation, they threw the money bags down, went in the ring, and took care of the rest of Don Callis' family and saving Kenny Omega. Had a little hug out moment from that, a little handshake with the Jurassic Express as well. So we had a face change here. Uh, Young Bucks coming in as heels. Now they're baby faces. Back with their elite buddy Kenny Omega. But yeah, I thought this was a good match as well. I don't know. I just a little. I don't know. I think I enjoyed the Pack and Darby Allen more than this match. But yeah, this match not so messy. Canvas stay clean on this one. All right. Now we had a match for the AEW Women's Championship, World Championship. Mercedes Moné, the holder of 13 championships, coming in challenging for the World Championship. Of course, Mercedes is the current AEW TBS champion as part of their 13 belt collection. Uh, Champ did get early advantage until she missed a 450 splash. Looked like she injured her arm. Mercedes would work on that arm the whole time. She would hit the 14 Eddie Guerrero. Used to be the hat trick or the three amigos, but she did it 14 times. Uh, then ate the feet of Chris Statlander when she was going for the frog splash. So Statlander was able to mount a comeback, a little more back and forth. Uh, uh, Chris Statlander was doing a corner charge at, as she was. Mercedes trapped her legs over her head and was doing the, I guess, make her head, bump against, Chris Statlander's head against Mercedes' ass, but Chris Statlander was able to transition that into the Saturday Night Fever Tombstone Pile Driver. 1, 2, 3. Chris Statler wins. This one, I will say it, I will admit that this one pleasantly surprised me. This could have been like a double-edged sword right here. I felt that Chris Statler lost again to Mercedes Moné. I wouldn't say it killed her, but it would kind of got fans thinking it's like, oh, I guess because you got to think this is the smart crowd. They're not up with a show or whatever, but they'll be like, okay, they're really not going to do anything with Chris Stanlander, so why should we get behind her? But this is the second world championship match Mercedes had, and has lost them both. But hey, she's got 13 championships. It's not going to hurt her. Now you got to figure out, because eventually now Mercedes Moné is going to have to lose those championships, and you got to have to rebuild her up. Not win all this championship, but maybe rebuild her up into getting another AEW Women's World Championship shot. Then we get to the main event of the night. It was a cage match for the AEW Men's World Championship. It was Samoa Joe going against the champion Hangman Adam Page. Like I said, another messy one here. Joe jumped the champ, but Page was able to regroup, used the cage to bust open uh, Samoa Joe, old school style. Uh, Joe came back, did the same to Page. A lot of, I mean, like I said, there was a lot of color all over this pay per view. This one did not disappoint in the color factor as well. Shibata would come down, cause some distraction. Eddie Kingston came out, took care of him. We got a ref bump. Hobbs would come in, try to interfere, but Page was able to fight him off. Hook came out and trying to revive the referee, or so we thought. He winds up picking up the World Championship belt and hits Adam Page with it. Took his, unzipped his jacket, revealed that he had an op shirt on, so he is still either back as a member or still a member. It was all cool, whatever. So he's back with the ops. Muster Buster on Adam Page, 1, 2, 3, the winner and new AEW Men's World Champion is Samoa Joe. And as he was celebrating with his ops partners and the ops dojo, is what they call that, big group of young men there. The lights went out. Here's some music. We see Prince Nana, and out comes Swerve Strickland. I guess hey, I'm through with that music. Got myself a new song out for myself. So he came out, and looks like the ops was that kind of serving Adam Page on a silver platter for Swerve Strickland. It's like, hey, have you not watched the past shows? They were kind of sort of getting along, especially when Adam Page wound up winning the AEW World Championship. Swerve kind of uh, held off the Death Riders for him as well. So music hits, Swerve comes out, he takes out the Ops dojo. The main Ops figures kind of ran out of there, and the ones left standing was Adam Page and Swerve Strickland. Like I said, it was a pretty good pay per view. Like I said, a lot of color in this match. I did like the cage match. It was more of an old school thing. You didn't have to have uh, tables and chairs and bed of nails, syringes, blocks, or anything like that. They kept it pretty basic. It still works. Still was really good match. Like I said, a lot of color, but that's as a old school fan, that's what I would expect from a cage match. It is a lot of color, but they use the cage as a weapon and not everything else. I feel that they could have waited to bring Swerve back on TV come Dynamite. Um, they could have saved that last segment for Dynamite, but I guess um, who knows what they're guessing. I One thing I was wrong. I was right about FTR regaining the AEW World Tag Team Championship, but I figure either I kept saying it. Adam Copeland and Christian Cage. I figure they either come out to cost them the belts, or have this moment like Swerve did uh with Samoa Joe. I figure Copeland and Christian will come out and kind of have a little face off with FTR, signifying that hey, now you're gonna have to face us for those belts. Like I said, the Pack and Darby match, very good. Uh, kind of, I guess if it's going to tell a story, say, hey, I did have this plan in case Darby got the best of me. I'll use his own bat or Sting's bat against him in that one. But all in all, decent pay per view. Uh, if you pay attention or if you watched it this far, appreciate you folks watching this. If you like it, you know what to do. Click that like button. Also, leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought about this year's Full Gear, or just be friendly, say hello. That's always cool as well. Also, if you just like hearing a normal guy talk about the sport of wrestling, a fan just like you folks at home, be a champ. Click on that subscribe button. Other than that, you folks have a good one. Take it easy. And until next time.
So long from the peach state of Georgia.
Ronald Ray here saying thank you for checking out my video. If you don't mind, go ahead and click that thumbs up button, leave a comment, and share this video with family and friends. I would also appreciate it if you would subscribe to RP2 Vision, where I cover the sport of professional wrestling from yesterday to today. Now don't forget to click the notification bell as well, so you'll be notified when my other weekly content is available, like Wrestling Trivia Tuesday, WWE Raw Recap, and AEW Dynamite Recap. I also have 2 live streams. Every Thursday at 8 p.m., it's Spot Show Live Stream, where I discuss the latest news in professional wrestling. And on Friday nights at 8 o'clock p.m., it's Wrestling Gold Friday Night, where I discuss the good old days of professional wrestling. When wrestling was wrestling, wrestling was real because it's still real to us. Folks, have a good one, and take it easy.